Okay, so we're in Canva, and this is my completed brand board. So I have my two logos on there. I have two versions of my logo. I'm going to be creating a couple more because I want one that's watermarked so that if I post an image online, I can watermark it. And for watermarking, yes, you could use a regular logo, but it's handy to have one that's, they call it transparent. So it would be just like this, but it would be a transparent version to watermark, or you could use just script letters and make them transparent, and just post when you're posting an image online. You want to do that so people don't steal your images. They do that on Pinterest a lot. I'm not quite sure why, but they do it. And so here are my 5 colors. I've made these shapes. I pulled the shapes out of the elements. Click on the shape, and it automatically pops up with my brand colors. And so you would put as many colors as you're going to use on there. You would click on there, and then you would go to this, and you would use one of these colors. Let's see, I didn't use that dark blue yet. Okay. And typically people don't have more than 5. Yes, when I'm designing, I'm going to have, use social media posts, I'm going to have more versions than these 5 colors. I'm going to have lighter versions, darker versions, just for contrast. I've got for headings and my covers, I use Simple Mandala. I also use apricots. Here's a tip that I learned from creating for the classroom. It doesn't matter how colorful it is. It doesn't matter how pretty it is. It doesn't matter how well designed if you can't read it. So you don't want to use fonts that are so, I've seen very elaborate script fonts that I can't even read. And because they're so elaborate, they've got lots of curly cues. And when you're actually creating products for children or older people that have, like me, that have eyesight problems, you want to keep the fonts easy to read and simple to look at. So they want to be pretty, but you want to be able to read them too. I also use my headings apricots, and I use Cavallini. That is a font that's available for free online for commercial use. And then I also use Lovello. Now, a couple of these, well, actually I think all of them, Simple Mandala and apricots I downloaded from Creative Fabrica, and these change quite a bit. I will use them for a while for 4 or 5 products. I will use them, and then I'll get tired of them and I'll want something different. Quite honestly, even though they're called something different, I don't see a lot of difference between apricots and Simple Mandala. I used Rustic Pantry for a long time, and it looks very much like that. I used, there's others that I use. Let's see. Some of these I use for my teaching resources. Morning Sunset, that's one that I use. I use Brittany Free. I have a whole range of Bubbles fonts that I bought that are for my teaching products. There's Rustic Pantry. So I use a lot of these, and Pumpkin Butter, of course, but they're all this kind of straight up and down script that's easier to read. Okay, so, and then the other thing that you would want to do when you're putting in your colors is you would click on this, you would go over here and see this hex code, you would just copy it and paste it, and it winds up right there. And that's the hex code for that color. Now, the hex codes come in handy because you want to be able to, whatever program you're designing in, and it really doesn't matter because the hex codes are pretty much universal. So whatever hex code that you have for these different colors, you're going to be able to take these colors into PowerPoint and create a custom color scheme or color theme. And you need the hex codes to do it. That makes it really simple, and you can save them there. You can use them. It doesn't matter whether you use Illustrator, Photoshop, Procreate, Affinity, PicMonkey. It doesn't matter what design program you have. The hex codes are universal. And so if you have the hex codes, you're going to have these same colors in whatever design program that you use. And then I also put some images here at the bottom, and because you want to convey a mood or be inspired by it. And I want to remember that when I'm designing, when I'm creating, it's a party to me. I'm having fun. I love color, and I love, I'm having fun when I'm designing something. And so I want to create the mood that it's a party and it's fun. Now, Are all of my products in these colors? No, because people want, for Christmas, they want red and green. For Halloween, we want orange and black. For Valentine's Day, we want pinks and reds. You don't want pink and purple for Halloween. So when we're designing products, we're designing different things. And so that is my brand board. Okay, so now let me show you a couple fun things that we can do with it. Okay, so I'm still in Canva, and I found this workbook that, in Canva, it's like my house. It's really easy if you're working on 15 things at once. You put one thing down, and in Canva, it's always there, but you don't, it's not in front of you, and so you just don't remember where you put it. So I found this workbook on productivity that I decided I would finish up, but when I was doing it, I was doing these really muted beige colors, and they're okay, but if I wanted to change this, and here's an idea when you're creating a product, instead of starting from scratch, put your brand board on there or any color board that you create to make products. And so when you start a product, if you create a color board with the colors that you're going to use, and if it's a Halloween product, maybe you have 2 colors of orange, a black, a dark gray, and a gold, and you could create a product. It could be Halloween themed. And so you would just click on this and you would say, it was in that beige, and now I want it, I'm going to use my little eyedropper too, and now I want it in that color, and yes, I'm going to change all. Now, I realized when I was doing this that not all of my colors were the same, or maybe it is now. Okay, and I also decided that maybe that's a little dark for a printable. And so what I need to do is I need to go in and I need to lighten that up a little bit. And I can do that pretty easily by doing that. It's the same color, but I'm just going to really lighten it up so it's a little paler. Okay. And so now that I've got that, and I've got this graphic on the bottom that's kind of fun, just to give it some detail. And it's in 3 colors of beige, which to me doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to use my eyedropper, and I'm going to click on that. Change all for that. I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to go to my eyedropper tool, and I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to use my eyedropper tool, and I'm going to click on that. So those are the colors that I like. And they are not at 100%. This is not at 100% either, and if you don't like that much color, you can keep the tint and then just take it down. Same thing, this is not at 100%. That is already at 50%, and you could take that down as well. And so that you have a little bit of color on there, but not a lot. Easy way to change a product up without going to a lot of trouble and changing every single page is to put that board in there. And with your color range in there, and then you can scroll through. You can see it changed everything, even the front cover. If you want to change the pictures, you can change those in Canva as well. And then I would just add my logo to this. I'm not done with it yet. I found it, and now that I found it, it's like, oh, I want to do something with it. And so that I would add that like that. Okay, one more fun thing that we can do. Here are some Pinterest pins. Then when I got them from somebody, they were in horrendous colors. They were in orange and dark green, all kinds of colors, red, but that green was really something. And so one thing you can do, you can do the same thing with your brand board. You can copy it over when you're making social media posts, or you can go right to your brand hub and you can say shuffle. And if you don't like the color, then you can do that. You can click on this one. You can either change them by doing that, like we did before, and going to your brand colors and changing them. And if you make it that dark, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to change the font color so that it's white. But you can do that too. You find another one. We can change everything. Oh, so you don't want that pink. You can click on that pink and say, I'd rather have that color. Change them all. So it's easy to do that with either your brand hub or that color board that you're going to create. And you can have this. I do these for all social media posts. I use my colors, and I don't know that I like that. Maybe I use that purple. Yeah, that'll make it stand out. And then you can just drop your cover images in there. It makes it really easy to do. Okay, I don't know that I like this black either. That's why I have a really dark color. In case instead of using black, I use color. And so that's really easy to do with social media images. In this case, it's Pinterest, but it could be Instagram images. It could be images for LinkedIn, Twitter. It could be any kind of images that you're going to post, and you could make them your brand images. Okay, I hope this was helpful and you get started creating that brand board or mood board and getting going on creating a more consistent look for your business.